Oh my gosh. Holy potatoes, guys. Have you ever made a huge mistake and felt really stupid afterwards? Well, guess what? I did this morning recording the show because I selected the wrong microphone and I didn't realize that I was recording literally zero audio. So anyway, guys, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. And if you were on the live earlier, I apologize. Mistakes are going to happen. I will work diligently to make sure they don't happen in the future. But I apologize because if you were here, and I know there were several of you that were checking in and out on the live stream earlier, I apologize. And before I get too much further down the road, I'm going to just make sure we've got audio going. It looks like we do. So good. I'm great. I'm glad that the audio is finally on, but now I have to record the entire show all over again. And that sucks. But I'm going to do it. So it's rock and roll time. Yeah. So anywho, without belaboring the point, yeah. So I started record the whole episode and had no audio the whole time. Technical difficulties. Anyway, so I've got my coffee and I'm skipping the pinch of cougar this morning. And I want to do a really big shout out to my father-in-law out in Arizona, Gary. He watches the show religiously, the live stream. And I think he listens to the podcast too, but he definitely watches the live stream and he gives me a ton of good feedback. And one of the things he said was, hey, maybe don't do the chewing tobacco because it could turn some people off. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I should. But I also want to be authentically me. And guys, that is me. Every morning I have coffee and a pinch of chew. It's just I'm just an old country boy from Ohio. So it's what I like to do. But anyway, we've got audio this time around. So we're going to get, and before I get to, and if you guys are listening to this on Apple or Spotify, I apologize, but I'm going to jump in here real quick and absolutely make sure. Yep. Okay. I just wanted to absolutely make sure I had audio going this time. Holy smokes. But shit happens, right? So, all right, let's get on with the show. Guys, today, I want to talk to you guys about two things on today's episode. The first is, we got to stop arguing with people. I had an experience this morning where I was responding to some comments on some videos on TikTok, and it seems like people are more than ever trying to goad you into emotional arguments. And I want to talk to you guys about that today because we need to ignore that stuff moving forward. We are only 13 days away. Actually, I think it might be 12 days away from the election. So let me actually, I'm so thrown off right now. Yeah, we are 12 days away. I'm so thrown off from this morning because I did literally an entire episode and didn't have the right microphone picked in the software. So it's thrown me off a little bit, but we're going to rock and roll anyway. But yeah, we're 12 days away, guys. And I want to talk to you about not engaging in emotional arguments online, on the social spheres, in person. So we're going to talk about that today. And then I have a call for 18 to 25-year-olds. Okay, I have a special message on today's episode for 18 to 25-year-olds. So if you're between the age of 18 and 25, stick around for that. If you're not, it's okay. You don't have to check out. However, if you know somebody that's 18 to 25 or have kids that are 18 to 25, stick around and share the message with them. But before we get into that, guys, as a reminder, my book, We the Puppets, the audience for the best illusion ever performed, officially launches tomorrow. I thank you to all of you that have already went and ordered it because it is already out on Amazon. But the official launch was for October 25th, which is tomorrow, Friday. But a lot of you, God bless you, have already went out and ordered the book. And because of you guys, we've already jumped to the number one spot for new releases in the political leadership category. So the book is put into 3 different categories there on Amazon. One of them is political leadership. And you guys got it all the way up to number 1 yesterday. I think I dropped down to number 6 for a little while, but we're back to number 1 this morning when I checked. Who knows? By the time I'm recording this, it might slip back to number 6. But the only way to keep it moving is if you guys keep supporting it and sharing it. It means the world to me. I appreciate it. And I think right now more than ever, this message in this book needs to get out before November 5th, before everybody heads to the polls, because it may help you decide which way you want to go this year with your vote in the election. And again, the book does not, try to push you one way or the other. It's not a political party book. It's not a partisan book. It just opens your eyes to the systems in America that we hold near and dear that have been manipulated to benefit the few at the expense of the many, all of us. And it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't designed that way. And this is your eye-opening, easy to understand book to kind of pull back the curtain on the illusion and kind of give you the inside view of how it's working, how it was designed, and how it could be done differently. So pick up a copy. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it, guys. But let's get on with it. So I had an experience this morning. I was responding to some videos on TikTok from last night. Yesterday's episode, I told you guys that the mainstream media is gonna be a fever pitch from here on out, right? The rhetoric is going to be Trump is a Nazi. Trump is going to be a dictator. He said he wants to be a dictator. He's Mussolini. He's going to round people up with the military and throw people in prison. He's going to attack his political opponents, et cetera. Basically everything that's already happened to Trump, they're accusing him of, and it's just going to be a fever pitch from here for the next 12 days. This is the playbook, right? Because Kamala Harris's campaign is literally imploding, right? It is imploding in real time. You can see it. I can see it. Everybody can see it, that it is just not gaining traction. And so the media is going to step in and help. And the way they can help is by increasing the rhetoric, right? The craziness of, Trump. And it's a dangerous rhetoric, right? I mean, the guy's already dodged 2 assassination attempts, and they're still out there firing, telling people that he is going to be a dictator and Hitler and Mussolini. Well, that is a dangerous rhetoric, but it will be the rhetoric for the next 12 days, and it will be increased. It will get crazier. It will get more absurd. You're going to have more people come out because I'm 100% positive they're being paid to say it. Just like General Kelly that came out and said, "Oh, Trump said, he wanted generals like Hitler and all." And if that was true, guys, and he's got a lot of other people in the administration saying that's not true, this guy is lying for attention. Because if it was true, let's just start applying the logic test to everything, right? If that was true, and that really happened, why did this guy wait until 13 days before the election, 4 years to 5-6 years later, to bring it up and talk about it, right? If what he's saying is true, then why wait? Like, if you were that bothered by it and that concerned by comments Trump made in a meeting, why did you wait till now? Like, and a lot of people are saying, well, because he was afraid to lose his job or whatever. Well, dude, you haven't had the job in like 5-6 years. So, or 4 years, right? So why wait till now to say that Trump said he wanted generals like Hitler? And it's for attention, guys. They're being paid. The DNC has raised so much money that they don't care. They will pay these people. They'll call it political consulting, and they'll pay them to go out and say things that are just simply not true. And it's just a way to try to mentally manipulate people and convince them to vote a certain way. The playbook is old, right? Like, we've seen it 100 times. But the byproduct of that playbook, and I'm seeing it, I saw it this morning, I had a back and forth with a person. The byproduct of that is everybody that tunes in to the mainstream media and listens to this brainwashing propaganda, which is exactly what it is. Like, we just got to call it for what it is. And guys, I'm not just picking on the left, right? I'm not just picking on the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the ABC, CBS, NBC. Fox also tries to skew what they say, especially on the commentary shows. I think their news shows, which are earlier in the day, not as much. But the commentary shows that you see in the evening, of course, they're skewed one way, right? And that's just what happens. But what I'm seeing in the left, on the liberal media, is like a fever pitch propaganda that is just dangerous and false. And the byproduct of that, if you are somebody who has a social media account, if you're somebody who's an influencer, and there's a lot of you out there that has a big following, your comment, even if you're somebody who's small and you're just out there posting your opinion, the byproduct of this mainstream media fever pitch is going to be that you are going to get people in your comment section that are going to be literally puppeting the same talking points from the mainstream media, trying to goad you into an argument. And they're going to attack you. They're going to call you stupid, uneducated, uninformed. They're going to say you're in a cult, right? Because you guys know what I'm talking about. The talking points are always the same. They're always the same. It's getting old, but it's because it's the only thing they know. They don't have substance to their argument. And then they'll goad you into like questions like, oh, so you support a dictator, even though Trump's not a dictator? He's not going to be, never has been. And the whole idea behind that, right? And here's the playbook for all the people hitting your comment sections. And this is why I'm bringing it up and why I'm telling you, do not engage. From this point forward, just do not engage. And if it's not your post and you just see the comments on somebody else's post, just don't engage. Why? Because here's their playbook. The byproduct of the mainstream media's rhetoric, dangerous rhetoric that trumps Hitler, Mussolini, is that their followers, the people who watch it religiously, are going to come into your comment sections on social media and try to goad you into a fight. And then when you fight back and say things that are also not nice or friendly, they're going to flag or report your account as being bullying, et cetera, because all they really want to do, because they can't argue substance, and it's just emotional argument after emotional argument, they want to try to silence you who is offering a substantive argument. That's the playbook. So from here on out, for the next 12 days, stop engaging with these people. It's not worth it. Okay, they are still brainwashed. They still believe the propaganda, and it is just not worth having the argument. And here's my other thing about this. I had this revelation probably a couple weeks ago, and I talked to my wife about it. And because I see this rhetoric, because I watch all sides of the news. Like I'll go to the 4-screen panel and watch the screen and screen, and I'll have Fox up, I'll have CNN, MSNBC, BBC, and sometimes ABC, CBS. Sometimes what's the one that Cuomo's on now? I can't even think of that channel. I'll have that up, and I'll just kind of watch how they're covering everything that's going on. And it is so clearly obvious that most of it is propaganda, that I was having this conversation with my wife because I see all these comments on social media, especially over on TikTok. Like I'll post a video offering my opinion about something, and then, the left-leaning liberals who are brainwashed by the mainstream media dive in there and they're hateful, and, they're truly hateful and bigoted people. And at first I would go hard on them, right? Like I would try to make them feel stupid and make them, look bad and make their arguments look illogical and moronic, because half the time they are. And then one day it hit me and I'm like, wait a second. If I truly believe these people have fallen for this mental manipulation, because that is what's happening with the mainstream media, is they're mentally manipulating these viewers. And if I truly believe that's happening, and I do because I see it every day, then I have to see it for what it really is. I have to see these people who are coming into my comment sections for what they really are. And what they really are is people who are being mentally abused, right? Because on a daily basis, they're being told lies, fiction, right? They take a small clip of something Trump says, never the whole thing, and they turn it into this crazy thing like Trump wants to be a dictator day one. But if they watched the whole town hall where those comments were made, they would clearly see what Trump is actually saying. And it's not that he wants to be a dictator like Hitler or Mussolini or anybody like that, or Stalin, or everything the media is telling you. It's just like the good people on both sides comment that the media for years, and they're still doing it when it has been thoroughly debunked. The media for years said, oh, Trump said that, white supremacy and, all this, that he supported them and blah, blah, because he said there were fine people on both sides. And if you just watched 30 more seconds of that clip, you would see he clearly condemned white supremacy. But the media rang that chamois out to all their viewers for years, knowing the entire time it was not true. And that's what they do over and over. So these people that are coming into your comment section, in my comment section, and spewing the same talking points from the DNC and the mainstream media, you have to see them for what they are. And once you see them for what they are, which is people who are being mentally manipulated, so therefore mentally abused, we should look at them like anybody else that you know has been abused. How do you look at them? And I'm not saying we got to adopt a victim mentality or culture here, but you would look at them as a victim of abuse and you would handle them with love, right? And so that was my revelation, is that from here on out, I am going to handle these people with love. I'm not going to go at them hard. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to fight fire with fire. I'm just going to tell them, hey, look, I understand that's your opinion, and I just need you to know you've been misled. You're being lied to, and it's okay. You know, I will still be here to be your friend and to support you when you wake up and figure it out. Because, guys, that is what is happening in America. And I know more than half the country see it. At this point, 4 years ago, I don't think it was more than half. I think it was less than half of the country saw it. Now I can say confidently that more than half of the country see this now. Like their eyes have been opened. They are awake. They are awake. But there are still a lot of citizens among us that are not. They still believe in the idea that the media is the fourth establishment, who are supposed to be arbiters of the truth, keeping the legislative, executive, and judicial branch in check by telling us the truth about everything they're doing and the full context of what they're doing. And they're not. They're just simply not. Journalism has essentially died in America. You know that. I know that. We all see it. But there are still millions of people out there that don't see it. They're still manipulated. They're still brainwashed. So one, don't engage with them in the comment section anymore. And if you choose to engage, treat them with love. Look at them for what they are. Somebody that is clearly emotionally manipulated and has been mentally abused by the mainstream media, because that is exactly what it is. 100%. So stop being mean to them. Love them, because it's not their fault that their trust in an entity, the media, is being violated on a daily basis and has been violated on a daily basis for going on close to 12 years now, or longer, really. It really goes back longer than that, but a minimum of 12 years of straight mental manipulation. It's sad, it's unfortunate, and it shouldn't happen. And if you're somebody that sees it for what it is, good for you. And for those of you that don't, it's okay. It's not your fault. You're being manipulated. You didn't ask for it, but you fell for it. And for that, I am sorry for you, and it should stop. But stop engaging, guys. For the next 12 days, do not engage with these people, because the fever pitch will be crazy. I'm telling you now, it will be crazy. All right. So I want to get into this other thing. I have a call to action for 18 to 25-year-olds. So if you're an 18 to 25-year-old, stick around. If you're not, you don't have to necessarily not stick around, but because maybe you know somebody that's 18 to 25, maybe you have kids that are between the age of 18 and 25. If so, stick around, share this message with them. And if you're catching this on social media, leave a comment below, share it with somebody that you know is between 18 and 25. So 18 to 25-year-olds. Here is my message. I saw somebody else that does a pretty large show who had a call basically to action for 18 to 25-year-olds. And I thought that was like really important. And what he said was really valuable. And it's probably one of the best things he said on his show or publicly in a long time. And I'm not going to regurgitate exactly what he said, but it got me thinking. And he was 100% right now. And my message to you guys is you are more important. Your generation, 18 to 25-year-olds, are more important than you realize you are to the success of the future of this country. You know, I have 3 small children, and they are behind you in life, right? And the decisions that your generation, 18 to 25, decide to make, not only this election year, but over the next couple years, will genuinely affect my kids' future. And so for me, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that you're not falling for all the bull crap that you're bombarded with at college and on the mainstream media. Because when we're younger, right, and our frontal cortex is not fully evolved yet, which I think takes 25, 26 on average years of age for that to our logic and reasoning portion of our brain to fully develop, you can be emotionally manipulated very easily. And I don't think you're stupid. I think you're an awesome, amazing generation. My right hand person in my business is 23 years old, graduated from college, one of the best employees I've ever had. You guys are not stupid. And there is one side that thinks you are. And that's why they attack you with emotional arguments all the time rather than logic and common sense, because they don't think you're capable biologically, emotionally, to understand logical arguments. But I do believe in you. And I know that you can understand logical arguments. And I'm going to make one to you today, 18 to 25-year-olds. And here's mine. I've lived a good life. I'm 43 years old. If everything were to come crashing down tomorrow, I would have no regrets. If the system failed, if it folded up and we had nothing, I would have no regrets in life. I've gotten to experience so many things in life. I've traveled the world. I've gotten to grow businesses. I've gotten to meet thousands of amazing people and entrepreneurs all over the country. I've traveled the United States of America. There's not a state in the union I haven't had the opportunity to visit and go to. My life has been blessed. I've had the time and the fortune to live an idea of the American dream. I would have no regrets if it all failed tomorrow. I got the opportunity to have life, liberty, and pursue happiness in my life. So if it all crashed down tomorrow, I would have no regrets. I feel like I would miss out on nothing. But can you say the same thing? The obvious logical answer is no, because I have more chronological time on earth than you do. So I had more time for the experience. I had more time to learn and grow and experience love, having children, marriage, to experience success and making money and having all the things that I could possibly want. And then some. But can you say the same thing? And this other host of this other show, he was in a situation one time where he had to make a difficult decision about his career and he was struggling making the decision, and he had a mentor come to him and say, here's the issue. You're asking yourself the wrong question. See, you're asking yourself what you want. And what you need to be asking yourself is, what can you not live without? And what you cannot live without is the decision. That is the direction to go. That is the choice to make. And he had to decide between, do I want to do this job or do I want to do this job? And he really wanted to do this job, but he couldn't live without the mission and the prestige of this job over here, because this job was the one that was his lifelong goal to do. And he couldn't live without doing that. He could live without the other one. And that's how he made his decision. And that is my question to you, 18 to 25-year-olds today. Ask yourself not what you want, but what can you not live without? Can you guys live without an economy that benefits you? Can you live without a job and a career track that will provide for your future success? Can you live with the higher groceries and all of the things that are seriously stymieing your growth and your growth potential? And I promise I'm not placating to you, and I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, and I'm not trying to get you to go one direction or the other. But I am asking you to have a serious conversation with yourself, because I know you're capable of doing so. You are the future of our country. Your decisions will affect my young children's future. And so I have an extreme vested interest in you guys, you 18 to 25-year-olds, making good decisions and being a part of the future of this country, giving the next generation, not only your generation, but the generations behind you, the ability to have the experience of life, liberty, and pursuing happiness. I trust you guys. You can be leaders now in this country. I know a lot of people want to put you down because you're young and say you don't know what you're talking about, or your opinion doesn't matter, or you don't have enough life experience to have an opinion, or you're too dumb, or whatever. Like Kamala said, when she was talking about college kids, the 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid. That's why we give them advisors and the what are they called? The dorm. It's been so long. Gosh, I'm having a brain fart. Who are the ones that stay in the dorms with you? The people who like manage the dorms. I can't even think of it right now. But that's why we give you those, because you're too stupid to make your own decisions. And guys, I don't believe that about you. I don't believe that about your generation. Your generation is smart. You're hardworking. And the thing I love the most about you 18 to 25-year-olds in your generation is you see through the bullshit. You do. And there are many 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds that don't see through it, but you guys do. And I trust you, but I need you to start asking yourselves, what can you not live without moving forward in this country? Not what you want, but what can you not live without? Because you guys are a big piece of the future success of this country. And I need you to know that. And I need you to take this civic duty seriously. And I'm asking you to take it seriously. Really think about how you want your future to look. Because guys, who you go and pull that lever for in November, and you probably don't know what I mean by pulling the lever. It's an old voting analogy. Or actually, it was an experience. You used to have to pull a lever to punch your card. But you guys are a big part of that. And I want you to take your civic duty responsibly. I trust you. I think you're an amazing generation. I think the 18 to 25-year-old generation is what will make this country great again. You guys have so much potential. You're not stupid. Young, yes. Stupid, no. And I need you to think about, what can you not live without? Not what you want, because it's easy to be like, I want this, I want that, I want this. But it's harder to sit back and say, what can I not live without? And guys, I'm telling you, being 43 years old, one thing I would regret if it all ended tomorrow is living without freedom, living without liberties, living without the ability to pursue my happiness through entrepreneurship and capitalism, and build the life that I wanted to build by design, so that my family and the next generation of my family can have it better than me and the generations that came before me. I had the ability to do that. And we are at a crossroads here in America. And can you live without that? Can you live without the ability to pursue your happiness and have your liberties intact? And that is the basis of how you should make your decision on November 5th, or sooner if you were voting early. But that's my message to you 18 and 25-year-olds. Think it over. I believe in you. I trust you. I think you're going to be one of the greatest generations. I really, truly believe that. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap the show. And again, I apologize for putting the whole live stream out there without the right microphone being hooked up and all this. But, we're going to make mistakes. It's a fairly young show, even though I think we've done almost close to 50 episodes so far. But we're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. I do appreciate all of you guys that come and watch and download the podcast over on Apple and Spotify. Thank you for doing that. While you're over there, do me a favor. Leave that rating and review, because the feedback I pay attention to, it will make the show better, and it will help move it up in the algorithm so more people can find it organically. Don't forget, guys, tomorrow is the official launch of my book, We the Puppets, the audience for the best illusion ever performed. And thank you for all of you that already went out and picked up a copy. You moved us to number one new release over on Amazon in the political leadership category. And we are gaining in the other two categories too. I think by the end of tomorrow, if you guys help me push this plow, we'll push it all the way to number one in all three categories and, get it up in the overall new release category as well over there on Amazon. So thank you guys for that. I love you. Keep coming back. Let's get this message out to everybody in the country because I believe it's an important message. And we, the people, need to take back this country, guys. It's that simple. And there is a way forward. But it's not through partisan politics. It's not through groupthink. The way forward is being nonpartisan. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'm going to jump. But as always, stay informed, stay strong. But most importantly, guys, stay